Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel for another Hot Toys Secret Base figure preview video. Before we get started, I want to say a massive thank you to Ryan Kirkwood for going out in person to Secret Base and for snapping these high-res pictures. Show Ryan some love in the comments below because without him, this series literally wouldn't be possible. Now, if you're looking to pre-order your very own copy of Vi, I've popped some links to Pop Collectibles in the description below, along with the discount code Justin's Collection, for 5% off your order if you decide to buy from them. As always, do your own research, make sure you're comfortable before buying. While you're in the description, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button, so you're notified as soon as brand new Arcane content goes live on the channel. I'm pretty sure we all saw this coming. I mentioned in the Jinx figure preview video that Hot Toys likely wouldn't spend the money on a license like Arcane if they weren't going to go all in on it. So now that we've got Jinx and Vi, I'm left wondering, who's next? Is this going to be a line of 2, or 3, or 4? Let me know who you'd like to see next down in the comments. Alright, let's get stuck into it. She comes with blast effects, and they look fantastic, but we'll come back to them. For hands, a full array, and I'm not sure if this is going to make it through to final production, but you see the subtle translucency there for the fingers? I like that. It's a little bit of added realism, and I know this is based off an animated show, but I don't mind seeing a little bit of extra realism on my 1/6 scale figures. There's wrinkling sculpted in for the fingerless gloves, and gold paint applications for those brass knuckle-looking bits. So the blast effects, we get 4 in total. There's only 3 on display in front of her right now. The other blast effect is already attached to the underside of her Atlas gauntlet. You'll see what I mean in just a second. They're translucent plastic with some purple and blue shading on them. That contrasts with the red, black, and gold color scheme for the rest of Vi. So these blast effects, I am considering using at least one of them. The display base, they kept it simple. In that red, black, and gold color scheme, the nameplate simply says Vi, that's done in red so it pops against the black background, and there's a translucent red plastic edge for the base topper. They're doing that more and more often, and I kinda dig it. It adds some visual interest to the edge of the top part of the base. As for her boots, no split-cut boot design. However, they're flared out at the top, the tongue is sticking out, and you can see that she's got a pretty heavy ankle tilt going on there. So I'm willing to bet that these boots, they're made of PVC plastic, just like She-Hulk Daredevil. So we will get ankle articulation, even though there's no split cut. So aesthetics first, then functionality. But we are getting both of those things. It's not like you have to pick and choose. Anyway, enough about the boots. Her pants, they look like jeans. There's this denim textured weave to them, and there's gashes for her thighs, where you can see some skin tone poking through. I don't believe her legs are made of medical silicone, unlike her upper torso. There's a signature ABS plastic sheen on that bit of skin right there. Doesn't bother me whatsoever. There's only a little bit of skin tone poking through anyway. If they can paint that, sculpt it out of plastic, you don't have to stress about the medical silicone cracking over time. Her belts, they look like PVC to me. But that strap right there, connecting her thigh armor plating to her belt, that reads pleather. You know what? At this point, I'm impressed. Somehow, no matter what they're making, they still always manage to sneak in just a little bit of pleather. Nothing is safe from pleather, including Vi, it seems. I checked the Sideshow page, Hot Toys pre-order announcement, no mention of genuine leather. I'm hoping that it is real, and it's not going to disintegrate and flake over time, but if it's synthetic, then unfortunately that is likely going to happen. Oh, and you also would have seen the Enforcer badge on her belt. I don't believe that's removable. Having the waist clamp around her torso, that's an interesting choice. I don't think I'm going to do that. I will likely switch out the flight pole entirely for a crotch grabber, because that right there is going to dig into the PVC sculpted plastic armor and cause irreversible damage. It'll scuff it, it'll mar it up, and it will look terrible. Let's talk about the medical silicone upper torso, completely seamless. From the neck to the shoulders. No cuts, no seams, but there is bunching. Right there, on the right shoulder. It looks awful. You can work with it, it doesn't have to look this bad. You can move the silicone round and get it to look a lot more aesthetically pleasing. I'm not sure why they have her in this pose at Secret Base, but it's not doing the medical silicone any favors. These gauntlets look perfect. The pitting and weathering, the patinaed effect on the gold sections, the fact that the fingers are articulated, and they still look really show accurate. There's not massive gaps all over the place to accommodate engineering for those articulated fingers. Hats off to you, Hot Toys. These gauntlets might be worth the price of admission alone for me. Very impressed with the way they look. And how they're painted. The weathering even extends to the inside parts of the joints on the fingers. There's pitting on those pieces that only reveal themselves as you articulate the fingers. They didn't need to do that, but I'm glad they did. I'm curious if those pistons around the wrist area are functional. We'll have to wait and see when we eventually get Vi in hand. This is what I was alluding to earlier about the blast effect. It's plugged in underneath the panels on the back side of the Atlas Gauntlet, and it looks good, I can't deny it. Usually I'm not a fan of blast effects, but seeing as though Vi is from an animated Netflix series, I don't mind a little bit of blast effect action here. How is the engineering this good for the articulated fingers? Even with their Iron Man figures, they include closed fists because they know full well that articulated fingers can't make convincing closed fists when you bend them all the way in. For Vi, they figured it out. As you can see, all the way crunched in for the fingers, proper closed fists, and you still get a full range of motion out of them, with multiple joints at the knuckles. Then, the head sculpt. I said the Atlas gauntlets might be worth the price of admission, but I take it back. This head sculpt is the pièce de résistance here. There are a couple of complaints with Jinx not looking 100% animation accurate, but I've not seen as many complaints with Vi, still some. For me, this is bang on. That's Vi. From every angle, I can see it. The band-aid on her nose is actually 3D sculpted and raised on the surface. It casts a shadow on her nose. There's the gash on her left eyebrow. The way the hair's been painted with the gradient effect is perfect. And it's probably some of the best sculpted hair I've ever seen from them. The strands, yes, they're clumped together, but they're still really fine. And there's so much texture going on. But the expression, that is Vi to a T. And she's got moving eyes. That's just icing on the cake at this point. There's some freckling, some skin texture, and while there's not as much skin texture on the medical silicone body, I can write that off once again because this is an animated release. For figures like Bane, I want heaps of skin texture, way more realism. But for Vi, they've struck almost a perfect balance between realism and animation accuracy, in my opinion. So at the end of this, am I excited for Vi? Shit, yeah, I am. I'm more excited for Vi, actually, than Jinx, but I need to get them both, and I'm counting down the days until they're released. Now, I'm going to pre-order mine from Pop Collectibles. I've popped a link to their site in the description, along with the discount code Justin's Collection, for 5% off your order if you decide to buy from them. As always, do your own research, make sure you're comfortable before buying. While you're down there, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button, if you like the sound of seeing your name in the end credits of my reviews. Like, comment, and subscribe. We'll catch you in the next video.